So we have a new fair use ruling here. It's the James Castle Collection versus Scholastic Inc. and Alan Say. Now, Scholastic is a book publisher, and Alan Say is the author of the book. And James Castle is an artist. And we're going to go over all of this right now. This is in the United States District Court for the District of Idaho. And this is a very recent memorandum decision and order on a temporary restraining order. The court held oral argument on October 30th, took the motion under advisement. The court will deny the motion for a temporary restraining order. Plaintiff Castle Collection seeks the restraining order to enjoin the distribution and sale of a children's book, Silent Days, Silent Dreams, the book. The book is written and illustrated by Alan Say and published by Arthur A. Levine, an imprint of Scholastic. It is scheduled for release to the public tomorrow, October 31st, 2017. The book by its author as... Well, actually, let's take a second and see if we can't look up the book. What do you think? What was it called? Silent Days, Silent Dreams. We'll try to find it on Amazon. So this is the book, Silent Days, Silent Dreams by Alan Say. It is available for sale, so I'm glad to see that, but let's find out why. The book by its author is an imagined biography of the artist James Castle, a fictional biography. Born in rural Idaho in 1899, Castle was deaf from birth and never learned to communicate orally or in writing. Yet he became a prolific artist widely recognized for creating works with found and scavenged materials such as discarded papers and food containers. His work is now found in museums, art galleries, and private collections all over the world. What was his first name? James Castle? Let's look up him too. What do you think? And just for reference here, here's some of his work. You can see it's very distinct. Made with scavenged materials and such. The book, written for children from the perspective of Castle's fictional nephew, includes approximately 150 illustrations, all drawn by Say. About 28 of those illustrations are Say's copies of Castle's art, while the other illustrations are Say's own depictions of various events in Castle's life, drawn in a similar art style to that of Castle. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click on Look Inside and see what the inside looks like. Do they have any? Okay, so there's one of the images, and here's some more. So yeah, these are similarly styled drawings, right? That looks very much like, in fact, that looks like one of the images that we just saw. Thank you, Super Chat. I will get to you, Super Chat. I'm going to be doing that at the end of the story, I promise. So that's what Alan Say's art looks like. Oh crap. Clicked on the wrong thing. In the author's note, Say explains that he tried to mimic and emulate Castle's unschooled style by using the same kinds of odd materials Castle had used. Say drew with a bamboo pen on a used shopping bag, as James might have done. He used burnt matchsticks and sharpened sticks dipped in soot mixed with spit. and he drew on 90-year-old letters and envelopes. Reviewers have noted the similarity between Castle's works and Say's illustrations. These illustrations, along with text, describe a chronological narrative of the artist's life. Plaintiff's Castle collection alleges that it is the exclusive owner of all copyrights to the works that it alleges are infringed by the book. The Castle collection has not authorized defendants Say or Scholastic to use any of its copyrighted works, nor has the Castle collection been involved in any way in the creation of the book. The book contains 28 illustrations that are unauthorized infringing copies of Castle's artistic works according to the amended complaint. The book has been distributed to booksellers and is due to go on sale on October 31st. The Castle collection asks the court to enjoin the sales and distribution of the book. Now, you may remember that yours truly recently asked for and received a temporary restraining order in the Imagos case, so we may be a little bit familiar with this. To obtain a temporary restraining order, the plaintiff must establish a likelihood to succeed on the merits. It is likely to suffer irreparable harm in the absence of preliminary relief without a temporary restraining order. The balance of equities tips in its favor, and the public interest the injunction is in the favor of the public interest. In this case, the book has already been distributed to many booksellers, and the Castle collection asks the court to order that defendants take affirmative steps to contact those booksellers and halt sales of the book. This relief is treated as a mandatory injunction because it orders a responsible party to take action. A mandatory injunction goes well beyond simply maintaining the status quo and is particularly disfavored. The district court should deny such relief unless the facts and law clearly favor the moving party. In plain terms, mandatory injunctions should not issue in doubtful cases. Fair use. The Copyright Act exists to stimulate artistic creativity for the general good. It does so by granting authors a special reward in the form of a limited monopoly over their works. However, an overzealous monopolist can use his copyright to stamp out the very creativity that the Act seeks to ignite. To avoid that perverse result, Congress codified the doctrine of fair use in 17 U.S.C. 107. The fair use of a copyrighted work for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research is not an infringement of copyright. The statute lists 4 factors to guide courts in their analysis. 1, the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or for nonprofit educational purposes. 2, the nature of the copyrighted work. 3, the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. And 4, the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. The court will consider each. The purpose and character of the use. The central inquiry under the first factor is whether the new work is transformative. Transformative works add something new to an existing work, endowing it with new expression, meaning, or message, rather than merely superseding the objects of the original creation. In Sofa, the Ninth Circuit held that the use of a copyrighted clip from the Ed Sullivan Show in the fictional musical Jersey Boys, documenting the career of the band of the Four Seasons, was transformative because it served as a biographical anchor for marking a significant moment in the band's career, and was not simply used for its own entertainment value. Similarly, in Bill Graham Archives versus Dorling Kindersley, the Second Circuit held that the use of a Grateful Dead concert poster in a book was transformative because they were used as historical artifacts to enhance the reader's understanding of the biographical text and were combined with a prominent timeline, textual material, and original graphical artwork to create a collage of text and images on each page of the book. Akin to the works in Sofa and Graham, the book in this case is transformative. The book is an attempt by Say to see the young Castle's silent world through his eyes. The book mainly draws on facts, but also includes speculation based on reasonable inferences from facts. He was bullied by classmates for being deaf and mute, or just pure speculation. He was slapped by his father and locked in an attic by his parents. In essence, Say created a version of Castle as a self-taught artist who was isolated by his disabilities and driven by his artistic passion, ultimately finding salvation in his art from a harsh world. That version of Castle emerges from Say's illustrations themselves and their placement at various points in the chronological text. In other words, the illustrations combined with the text to create Say's version of Castle. In this sense, the illustrations transform Castle's art into a version of Castle's life story, a version created by author and illustrator Say. Because Say's use of Castle's art is transformative, the fact that the book is a commercial production is of little significance. While the court is not making any final rulings in a TRO proceeding, the court finds it likely that this first factor weighs heavily in defendant's favor. The nature of the copyrighted work calls for recognition that some works are closer to the core of intended copyright protection than others, with the consequence that fair use is more difficult to establish when the former works are copied. Certainly, Castle's artworks are original, placing them within the core of intended copyright protection. The second factor likely favors the Castle collection, but in cases of transformative use, the nature of the work carries less significance, citing Mattel versus Walking Mountain Productions, a Ninth Circuit case from 2003. The amount and substantiality factor looks to the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. Here, the Castle collection identifies 28 illustrations out of the 150 illustrations in the book. This factor calls for thought not only about the quantity of the materials used, but also about their quality and importance too, citing Campbell v. Acuff Rose. Moreover, the copying of a substantial portion of the original work may reveal a dearth of transformative character or purpose under the first factor. Here, the copying was necessary to enhance the biographical narrative, told largely through Say's own illustrations that were not exact copies but mimicked Castle's style. This process became literally transformative in instance where a Castle rendering was changed by inserting Castle himself or other characters into the drawing. This factor weighs in favor of Say and Scholastic. Potential market factor examines the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. This factor likely weighs in defendant's favor because the Castle collection dislikes the way Castle is portrayed in the book and would not have licensed his art for that use. In those circumstances, this fourth factor favors defendants, again citing Campbell. In conclusion, weighing the four factors, the court finds at this early juncture that three of them likely favor defendants, while the one that favors the Castle collection is of little significance. Because the defendants are likely to prevail on their fair use defense, the court cannot find that plaintiff is likely to prevail on the merits. Moreover, the Castle collection is seeking a mandatory injunction, a form of relief that is particularly disfavored and available only if facts and law clearly favor the plaintiff or the moving party. That is not the case here. When a plaintiff has failed to show likelihood of success on the merits, we need not consider the remaining three winter elements. Consequently, the motion for temporary restraining order will be denied. Signed this October 30th, 2017. Judge Lynn Windmill, B. Lynn Windmill, Chief Judge, United States District Court for the District of Idaho. So what do you think of that? It turns out that sort of authorship, mimicking someone's art style and telling a whole fictional story about their life is a fair use of their material and is not infringing. So that should help you understand a little bit of what is different between transformation and not transformation. What do you think of that? Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below or in one of the number of other ways that we have going around here.